And I was studying Alex Hormozy and Dave Ramsey and trying to understand what their thoughts were about what to spend your pay yourself first money on. There needs to be a system around it, because right now no one has any idea of what to choose, what to do with their pay yourself money. So today I'm going to share all of that with you guys. We're trying now to set up our financial foundation for life, because once you solve that one equation, everything becomes better for the rest of your life. And the 3 keys are your work hours, because most people out there are saying, you need to work smart, not hard. But bro, you need freaking both. You need to work hard in order for you to learn how to work smart, because most people don't know. And if you're ignorant on how to work smart, then the fastest way to get there is by working hard, because you'll tinker with how can I do this smarter, and then eventually you'll figure it out. So work hours, monthly income, and accumulated net worth. Now these 3 are going to be the keys that we measure in 2025, and we're going to measure it to the nth degree. We need a continuous accountability that happens in the group, and my suggestion is what I've now done in the past 4 or 5 days, is to count the combined collective work hours of everyone that's screenshotted in the group chat. And as we continuously evolve as a group and become more and more people, then that number will continuously improve and get better. At some point, we will get 100,000 people in this group. And the moment we do, we will have 1 million work hours automated, and we will know how many work hours did we get today on 22nd of December, 2029, as an example. So that's what we're going to work towards, and we're starting with that. But the 2 others, monthly income and accumulated net worth, we're going to also insert into the app somehow. I'm discussing this with Ben, as we speak, to try and figure out where that would be, so that you continuously throughout the month, when you get your paycheck, boom, you insert it right away into the app, so that you can see your monthly income progressing towards your goal of your monthly income. So end of 2025, what do you want your monthly income to be in that month? Because this month you have something, but if you're not like way ahead 1 year from now, something's wrong, right? So that's how we'll know if your success inside of On Track is actually happening or not, if that monthly income is continuously increasing and improving. And it's going to be the exact same thing with your net worth. So those 3 keys, we're going to focus on them this coming year, and I'm excited about it. Okay, so let's use an example. Work hours, 80-hour work week at minimum wage, 10 USD. This is American numbers, I would say. Some people would say, well, hey, in my state, it's $15 an hour. What are you talking about? We're just taking the common denominator across all states and then say approximately $10 an hour. Okay, so that means that with the 80-hour work week and 25% tax, your after-tax dollars, what should go inside the all-in-one document the way we have it right now, is $2,400. From these $2,400, you will now do something like this. Okay, so out of those $2,400, then you take 25% as an example. You would take then, is it $600? Okay, $600. I put that in my pay myself first. Okay, fantastic. I get to check off in the app. Man, I'm so excited. Everything's growing, my net worth, etc. And then I'll spend the rest. Is that the best way? We found the new revolutionized way of going about it. And that's what we're discussing today. And I hope that if you can just take the stuff that I share with you guys in this presentation today, it will revolutionize your income. It will revolutionize your net worth. And we will eventually change the world together as a collective, because no one teaches it this way. And at least I've never seen it. And I've been in this space for a very, very long time. So what is the revolutionized way of doing pay yourself first? There's 4 categories of allocation. There's actually 2 pay yourself first. And we need to know the difference. One is future Joe. And the other is now Joe. Let me explain the distinction. The future Joe is the one that continuously is investing in himself so that his skill sets can increase, so that his income can increase as well. So the growth one is all about increasing your income. The reserves, the emergency fund, is all about feeling safe in the now and making sure that I'm okay, you know? And so you can kind of like, you see the difference? Growth is, let's go. I'm ready to take on the world, and I'm going to learn this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to create this. While reserves is, wait, hold on a second. You're going way too fast for me. That's the difference. And the emergency fund person is not the person that we're looking for in On Track. We're trying to help all of you guys to move towards growth, to move towards momentum, to move towards improving and increasing your income skill sets. And that is why I said in the beginning of the presentation that I feel like we're going a bit too slow. Like, are we all just stacking our emergency funds? Like, is that what On Track is about? I mean, it helps. It was better than what we did in the past of just like living paycheck to paycheck and not even knowing about pay yourself first. But when we begin to apply these principles, things radically change, because now you're focused on increasing your monthly income, and that will increase your reserves automatically. And then, of course, we got maintenance. We got to cover bills, and we also need to have fun money and enjoy the rewards of what we've done. Okay, so let's go through them real quick. 2, pay yourselves first. Now you know that. It's revolutionary for me. I don't know about you guys, but that was huge for me. The point of this video is to help us understand the power of investing in yourself rather than investing in other people's growth. Because when you're investing in the stock market or even a crypto project for that matter, you are investing in someone else's project and someone else's personal growth and someone else's something. When you're investing in you and learning how to think and learning how to evolve your income skill set, it's a completely different story. Once you've developed the skill, it's going to be very difficult to unlearn it. If you've learned how to bike, you've learned it. You might be rusty at some point in time if you've never, haven't biked for example, me. I know how to drive, okay? I've driven for years. I have not been behind the wheel for 5 years while living in Georgia. 5 years. I don't know how to use a pedal anymore. I would have to practice a little bit. But that's an example of I'll always have the freaking skill. And it's the same way when you invest in your skill set and in your mind, you will now have gained the skill, so you can never go back and contract to I don't have the skill. I've never seen this before. I don't know how it works. While with the S&P or with crypto, no offense, everyone, you could lose 50% of your investment overnight, potentially as well. But the whole point is your brain is more important than investing in anyone else. So giving you guys examples of what low risk tolerance, medium tolerance, and high risk tolerance is. Now you'll understand that I encourage high risk tolerance, but just make sure that you don't invest in something without having educated yourself about it in the first place. Okay, so low risk tolerance, if you look at the colors, you'll see them on the side there. 70% maintenance. Some of you guys might be in a situation where you're renting your own place, food is expensive, you need transport to get to work. There's a lot of there's a lot on your plate. Okay, well, what do you do? How do you progress from there? Well, put 10% in growth, 10% in reserves, and then 10% for fun money. You could choose to put fun money to 0, but I just don't recommend it. You should have something where you're rewarded for it. A medium risk tolerance would be, well, you go straight from the maintenance money and move towards growth. That's the only thing that changes. And lastly, this would be a high risk tolerance. Some of you guys might be in a position where you're living at home. Blessed be those that live at home in these times because of the savings that you are able to do. And that allows you to be in growth mode as much, way more than someone else that has a lot of expenses. So should you wait until you get a wife and 3 kids to develop your financial freedom? I say not. Please do not do that. So be single, be free for a long period of time until you are ready. Now, which one do you think will achieve financial freedom the fastest based on these? Probably the growth one. Probably the ones that are actually taking a risk on themselves, because you most probably will be able to double your income within 6 months' time, a year's time, who knows? So invest in your growth and skills. What does that actually mean? Because this is not the emergency fund. This is money that you are intending to spend, preferably immediately this month, to get started and rolling with your growth. So consistency coaching, that I put that at the top. Obviously, this is this business, but the reason why we put it at the top is because it will keep you consistent continuously for an extended period of time, and that's what we need to get the exponential growth curve. If you quit on track and then come back and then quit again and then come back and quit, how are we going to be able to keep you consistent on this journey of actually doing this growth mode? Number 2, do it yourself education. Number 3 is do it with you education. Okay, so first is books, courses. The third is coaching, masterminds, mentors. You see, all of this is kind of what you're already in, but there are some things that I'm not good at, right? Jefferson wants to learn coding at some point in time, right? Or and extend his capacity and understanding of the subject. Should he talk to me about it? No. Okay, I don't know nothing. I know squat about it. Justin wants to become an amazing trader. Well, should he go to me, who's never been profitable but who loves the space? I'm not good enough for that, right? So he needs to use me for consistency and taking care of everything else, and then he can go and get mentors in that space that he can shadow and learn from, right? The more disorganized the information is, the cheaper it's going to be. The more organized and the better information you want, the more expensive it's going to be. So over time, I mean, Grant Cardone still invests in programs. He even said in a reel that he invested $100,000 to understand more about himself. But he said that within weeks, he 10x'd his return on that investment because of investment that he made based on the course that he got. But this is kind of the stuff that you get when you're investing in yourself. Okay, and then do it for you assistance, which could be tools, softwares, AI, employees, agencies, etc., that allows you to capitalize on growth. The second one, okay, I just looked at the numbers today. Remember we spoke about the $10 per hour at 25% tax? So I increased the taxes because that usually happens in most of our countries, progressive tax regimes. And I just looked at it. If you do 80-hour work week and you just get $50 per hour instead of 10, you're already at 10K. So we're only talking about 5xing your income. And that could be, for example, and I'm just using an example because I think I heard Dan Martell explain this, or Alex Hormozi wasn't, not sure which one it was. But they were talking about if you're going to mow snow. Is that what it's called? Snow shovel? What's it called? It's mow the lawn, but something else for snow.
Snow blower.
Right, something like that. Instead of shoveling snow out of people's driveways and maybe making $20 an hour or $10 an hour, if you instead pay them for the job done and you buy a snow blower, like Jefferson said, then you can finish it up in minutes instead of finishing it off in 2 hours. That would 5x your income right there because you invested in a tool for growth that allowed you to suddenly suddenly shovel, and snow blow driveways faster. So this is an example of what can we do? What can you do in your business, in your specific skill set that allows you to 5x fast or 10x your income as soon as possible? So now we need to talk about this though, because most of us have been thinking, well, building my, emergency fund and my net worth is pay yourself first. Well, now we know that it's the second part. And this is an untouchable fund, also known as your net worth. This was my discovery of, wait, hold on a second. So if I just put a percentage of my income in this emergency fund that's supposed to be there for me in case I need it, that will continuously increase. Yes, your income increases because you invested in increasing your income. So the percentage will continuously increase in terms of your net worth, of what goes into your net worth. Now, your rent is pretty much going to stay the same if you're wise about it as your income grows. Your food, there's a limit to how much food you can intake. Yeah, maybe it's healthier, maybe it's, whatever, but it's going to kind of remain around the same, maybe double the price, but still kind of the same. Once you get a family, obviously it grows. But so, and then you have other things, and then you have fund money. But basically, the vast majority of the money that you get is going to go straight into the net worth allocator, straight into the emergency fund. And so your reserves is the thing that's going to grow the fastest over time as you apply these principles. And that's actually pretty freaking cool. And we'll know through, the tracking and reporting that we do in the group. So keep it separate, keep it in a different bank, out of sight, out of mind. And because you never, ever, ever want to touch it. And it's only when you absolutely have to that you do. Like, for example, medical attention stuff and, extreme cases, in other words. Okay, how do you do it in the app? The most important dates of the entire month are the dates you get your paycheck. Now, some of us might receive it multiple times a month, but most of you are probably receiving it once or twice a month. That's the time when basically decision time has come, right? Now, if you're wise about it, you fully automate this so that you don't have to think about it. So that every single month or every single paycheck, it just goes out of your account and flows into the abyss of places where you can't touch it. And it's not available to you, so it's out of sight, out of mind. So if you have done that, then you only check off pay yourself daily if you took care of business for both growth and reserves on the paycheck date. So both are important. And if you borrow, then you got to keep it unchecked and you check it off once paid back. Ask questions if you have at the end. All right. And then we come to the two others, which is cover your maintenance. This is for regular bills, rent, food, other. Find creative ways to cut down on unnecessary expenditures like cars, like travel, if you can. Learn to be less worried about maintenance and more concerned about increasing income. I want you to understand this point because this is one sentence in Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, that I didn't get until recently. And that was that if your landlord is screaming at you for him to get his rent due, allow him to scream for a month or two while you figure things out. If you have an electricity bill that needs to be paid, allow them to scream at you for a little bit, despite you not having the funds, because you are focused on increasing your income. As long as you focus and make sure you don't touch that money for regular maintenance type of expenditures, that's when you know you're right on track towards where you want to go. That doesn't mean that we don't pay our bills. Of course, we have to pay our bills in order for us to survive and live and thrive. But we have our priorities in order and we make sure that we choose a percentage that's good and that's correct and that we can actually live with. All right. And then at the end, enjoy your profits. Fun money. This is a reward for being productive. Find creative ways to spend it all on luxuries or anything else that you feel that you have deserved. Have fun on your journey towards success. So this is not something we do at the end of the journey. Have fun, man, on your journey and make sure you set aside some money for fun money, even if it's just freaking 1%, okay? Because you deserve it. And we'll end with this video if Jefferson can figure
Alex
that out.
Hormozi, I absolutely love this one. You can invest in the S&P 500, but I prefer people invest in the SME 500s. You're always going to get higher returns on investing in your own education, your own skill set, compared to any stock market. A buddy of mine has a daughter. She was working at a bowling alley, minimum wage job. He told her, he's like, you can triple your income if you just get a certification to become a phlebotomist. It takes 2 days. It's $500. By taking $500, she could invest in the S&P 500, and at 18 years old, maybe there'd be a ton of compounding. But if she invests $500 in getting the certification and then 2 days later, she triples her income, probably a better investment in buying the certification than forever having a 3 times higher baseline for what she can make. My belief is always keep reinvesting in skills because that raises your lifetime baseline of earning potential.
Ooh, I like investing in the SME 500. I like that. As Jim Rohn said, formal education will earn you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. And Alex has backed that up, and it's totally true.
And that is the end of my presentation.